These are some of the most innovative minds in Seattle. They're helping you brew Northwest beer the same way you make your morning coffee.
To get your own fresh kegs of a beer that you just can't get.
They're developing ingenious devices
I have a number of sensors that are installed in my house.
to ensure our homes are safe.
It tells you the temperature and humidity.
And they're giving our children a head start in the digital world with board games.
Are you ready to run program?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
These are sound startups, and they're thriving in the Northwest.
Seattle is a great place to build a company. It's an incredible place to build a tech company.
I always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur ever since I was a little kid.
Their dynamic startup stories are the new American dream.
We did start with just 3 guys in a basement in a 2nd bedroom, and now we're literally over 1,500 people worldwide.
And under our gray Seattle skies, their futures are incredibly bright.
This is a change the world field.
I think Power to the People is a story that will never get old.
Travel with these groundbreaking pioneers as KIRO 7 presents Sound Startups.
Hello, I'm Monique Minglob, and this is the former library of the old University of Washington Law School. It was called Condon Hall, but thanks to these new tech tenants and more on the way, it's now known as Startup Hall. Companies like Up Global and Techstars are part of a startup community in Seattle that rivals California's Silicon Valley, and it's growing like mad in both software and hardware. Startups are famous for starting in someone's garage or basement, and that's pretty much what's happening here in a modest office building near Seattle's Gasworks Park. These UW grads are assembling a device unlike anything you have ever seen, the world's first fully automatic beer brewing appliance for the home. It's been a long-time dream of former Microsoft executive Bill Mitchell, and now it's his startup.
I'll start you out with something light over here.
Bill shows off the wide variety of beers his machine and his recipes can produce. The appliance, called Zymatic, is a bit larger than a microwave, but can still fit on most kitchen countertops. And like a microwave or Keurig coffee maker, it is simple to operate. A recipe kit supplies the specific grain and hops. Add water, push a button, and within 3.5 hours, the brewing is done. Add yeast, refrigerate for a week or so, and you have 2.5 gallons of world-class, freshly made beer. Bill says it replaces the hard work and the hassles of normal home brewing.
You can always take up home brewing. You can always learn the craft, try to master the craft, but you'll end up spending a small fortune in equipment and a large amount of time. So we think this is a good solution for anyone that wants to make just fantastic beer.
Are you ready to run program?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Dan Shapiro plays a board game with his kids at their Mercer Island home. A board game Dan invented that teaches children as young as 4 the principles of computer coding. The parent sets up a maze, then acts as a computer, obeying the commands of the children. The children instruct the parent on the moves required for their turtles to navigate the maze and reach the prize. In effect, they are writing a simple computer code.
So the idea of creating a really simple programming language that kids could learn and master, that they could use to solve puzzles and to win games, really struck me as something that wasn't out there and would be really fun to do with my own kids. Being able to write computer programs helps bring computers into your world so that you can teach them how to do what they want. And that's what Robot Turtles was really about. Showing kids that computers can help them, can do whatever it is that they want, that they're the boss and the computer's the servant, because I think too often people feel like it's the other way around.
So this is actually Wally Home.
Shwetak Patel is a computer scientist and professor at the University of Washington. His latest device, called Wally Home, uses wireless sensors to detect leaks, freezing pipes, and mold around the house. They can be placed under hot water heaters and crawl spaces under toilets. Any problems, and Wally Home sends you an alert on your smartphone or computer. In testing the product at home, Shwetak himself was alerted to a sudden rise in temperature in his attic, which left unattended could cause his air conditioning bills to soar.
It actually had peaked at a 127, and so that's when I realized that the attic fan had actually stopped functioning, and so we had a new fan installed.
His biggest advance was discovering a revolutionary way to extend the sensor's battery life. Rather than sending signals to a distant receiver, their sensors transmit only to the nearest wall, using the home's interior wiring grid as a giant antenna.
And so that allows us to turn the power down of our wireless sensors so much that it could be so low power that these sensors could last for 10, 15 years. In fact, you can actually drywall them up behind walls in strategic places where you might have plumbing or piping.
Schwedek's startup is now marketing Wally Home on Amazon. These are just 3 of the hundreds of tech-related companies that have started up in the Puget Sound area over the past few years, providing thousands of jobs and injecting millions of dollars into our economy. Not all have succeeded, of course, but there is a well-established startup culture here that nurtures and supports a good idea.
There are more people employed in software in the Puget Sound region than in Silicon Valley.
Ed Lazowska is a professor of computer science at the University of Washington and is a leading authority on startups in our area.
What I think is great about Seattle is it's a place where people work together and collaborate. It's kind of in our DNA. It amazes me compared to other parts of the country.
Once a month, entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs gather to network and support each other. These so-called tech meetups at the Seattle Center attract hundreds of people with big dreams and plans to start their own startup.
That market is exploding.
But all this creative energy has caused growing pains. The startup momentum began as many software engineers left Microsoft in Redmond to strike out on their own. Pioneer Square offered cheap, available office space for struggling entrepreneurs. The other big software giant in our area, Amazon, began gobbling real estate in South Lake Union in a relentless expansion that shows no sign of slowing. Fremont was the next startup destination. 34th Street in Fremont is known as Startup Row, with more than a dozen new companies and established ones such as Google, Facebook, and Tableau, which have expanded their California operations to the Pacific Northwest.
And our growth has been explosive. I mean, the past several years we've seen upwards of 80% growth typically from year to year. So it's been a really fun journey.
With interactive software, Tableau uses video and graphics to simplify and visualize large amounts of information or data that can clutter company spreadsheets.
So these are preseason predictions.
Tableau even helps players of fantasy football cope with mounds of player statistics. The company has grown so much and so quickly, it too has maxed out its office space in the Fremont neighborhood.
As Krista said, different size conference rooms.
This summer, Tableau took over a former workout space in Fremont, adding 50,000 square feet to ease its overcrowding.
We've been expanding rapidly and again fun, and it brings on problems, but they're great problems to have, to be honest.
But inevitably, the surging growth of companies like Amazon and South Lake Union and Tableau and Google and Fremont will cause budding entrepreneurs to seek out a new Seattle neighborhood for their startups, where that's likely to be, and advice on how to start your own startup coming up.
Watch KIRO 7 Eyewitness News, Emmy winner for Best Morning Newscast.
Seattle is dynamic.
It is the fastest growing city on the West Coast.
It makes you think what's going to happen next.
This is a very important time for Seattle. It also is a time of problems that need to be addressed.
Our police department, our school system,
development, traffic.
You need to know what's happening.
What you'll find on KIRO 7 every day is the most important stories of the day.
It's our duty to seek the truth. What does it mean to you? That is what our mission is.
You try to ignore it. You try putting it off. Luckily, your local Honda Express Service Center has got you covered with friendly Honda service advisors, Honda certified technicians, and genuine Honda parts. It's all the more reason to get your Honda serviced today. Quick, easy, and affordable Honda Express service. It's just that good.
Get a free digital foot scan, professional fit, along with great values now during New Balance Seattle's annual fall shoe sale. Special discounts on shoes and apparel. New Balance Seattle's annual fall sale now through October 12th, only at the New Balance stores in Bellevue and Alderwood Mall.
Here's to the military, past and present, who honorably serve but are so much more. Here's to the moms and dads, the grandmas and grandpas. Here's to the athletes, the adventurous, the determined. Here's to those who have better things to do than worry about their benefits, because now there's eBenefits, where you can easily access and track all your VA and DoD benefits online, all in one place. Register for your free account today at ebenefits.va.gov. Then get back out there.
There are great stories in this city, from digging under it to building above it.
From technology to medicine.
You know, on KIRO 7 Eyewitness News, you're going to get the most important story of the day.
Not just what is happening, but the so what of what's happening.
Over the years, we have seen the local startup community migrate from neighborhood to neighborhood as entrepreneurs seek affordable office space and programming talent. Jeff Du Bois shows us why the latest bet is that the University District will become the next great hub of local innovation.
The building housing the former University of Washington School of Law has been officially rechristened Startup Hall, opening its doors to startups of all kinds, whether they're affiliated with the university or not.
We want to facilitate whatever expands the ecosystem of innovation and creativity and startups here in the area. And so if they come out of University of Technology, great. If they don't, that's great as well. We want to provide facilities, services, assistance. The more kids in the playground, the more fun everybody's going to have.
UW President Michael Young is doing all he can to encourage startup development in the University District. He started his campaign shortly after arriving at the university by designating an on-campus hall as a center for university-sponsored startups. More than a dozen are in development right now.
So here, for example, is a briefcase that people might have questions about.
Here, Chief Technology Officer Andy Coe demonstrates the first commercially available product from the university's information school, or iSchool. It's called Answer Dash. When a company adds it to their website, their customers can click on any picture or icon on the screen to instantly answer any question they have.
Just select the Answer Dash mode, which is shown on the page as a tab on the side, and then you can go over and click on anything on the page that you have a question about and say, what is this thing? Tell me more about this.
Jake Wabrock is an associate professor at the iSchool and is CEO of Answer Dash. The product debuted last year, and already more than 100,000 people have used it. He's enthusiastic about all the startup successes he's seen come out of campus entrepreneurs.
UW is a kind of an engine of that growth. We celebrated 18 startups launched this year, 17 startups launched last year, making UW the #1 across those 2-year period in the nation for university spinouts.
The university is an engine for non-campus startups too, companies that often look for help from the faculty and students at its nationally renowned computer science department.
The University of Washington, the computer science department here is really a jewel that a lot of people don't know about. It's, you know, it competes with MIT and Berkeley and Stanford. I mean, that's kind of the competition for the University of Washington these days. And it attracts businesses up here.
Businesses like Google, Facebook, and Tableau. In Tableau's case, the company moved its headquarters from California in part because of the tech talent coming out of the University of Washington.
Seattle has been an incredible place for Tableau to be headquartered. We've been able to hire an incredible talent pool, particularly developers, dedicated, smart. They have a lot of stick-to-itiveness. They want to solve interesting problems. The people component has been just really important when it comes to Seattle.
Familiar words to Jeremy Jake, a regent at the University of Washington and a serial entrepreneur. After graduating from the UW, he co-founded one of the earliest local startups, Aldus, which invented desktop publishing in the early 80s. Jake and his partners were the first to develop publishing software using the new Apple and Microsoft Windows operating systems. Jake went on to start several other companies and is now the CEO of Snoopy, helping UW professor Shwetak Patel turn Wally Home into a commercial success.
When I saw it, it was working in the lab, and it was my job to figure out how to commercialize it.
Now Snoopy joins other startups in calling the University District home. This area offers benefits that are getting harder to come by in other neighborhoods, especially for penny-pinching new entrepreneurs. Cheaper office space, more room, and easy access to the tech-savvy students and faculty here on the UW campus.
The University of Washington is definitely a driver of economic growth as well by providing the talent that's needed to fuel these businesses.
I always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur ever since I was a little kid.
Rich Barton is another local startup success story. He created the internet travel service Expedia while working at Microsoft in Redmond. Like Jeremy Jake, he has become a serial entrepreneur, creating several startup companies in Seattle and California. He spends much of his time now at Seattle-based Zillow, the online real estate company he started in 2005. But his perspective is global.
It's not just part of the startup ecosystem. We're not just being carried along with this wave, we are pushing this wave. Seattle is really out in the forefront.
He points to the successes of startup companies here, including Seattle-based Redfin, another type of online real estate company that specializes in agents who do not want to work on commission. He says the widespread success here is partly due to the University of Washington.
Is cranking out fantastic graduates. So this is a fundamental part of the ecosystem that we have.
And partly due to good ideas, like Bill Mitchell's home brewing appliance. Pico Brew has taken more than 100 orders for the Zygomatic, and Fremont Brewing Company uses one to develop and test new recipes. Dan Shapiro has now sold tens of thousands of his code-teaching game Robot Turtles.
Hey, you got it! Good job! Awesome!
And thanks to the inventive genius of Shwetak Patel and the marketing savvy of Jeremy Jake, Wally Home is a winner on Amazon, using wireless sensors and software connections to help monitor and protect your home.
Software is becoming more and more pervasive. I mean, it's not like we're reaching the limits of where software can go and what software can do. I mean, it is going everywhere.
Which just adds to the incentive and the excitement of local software entrepreneurs to bring that next great idea to market.
But as we've mentioned, startups are inherently risky and their success is never guaranteed. Coming up, how companies make success more likely and how to start a startup yourself.
You try to ignore it. You try putting it off. Luckily, your local Honda Express Service Center has got you covered with friendly Honda service advisors, Honda certified technicians, and genuine Honda parts. It's all the more reason to get your Honda serviced today. Quick, easy, and affordable Honda Express service. It's just that good.
At Earth Justice, we defend the environment in the courtroom. Join our fight. When you take a seat, you take a stand. Earth Justice, because the Earth needs a good lawyer.
I am a mother.
I am an entrepreneur.
I'm a journalist.
I am a singer.
A businesswoman. I'm an artist.
An educator.
A sister.
An advocate.
A leader. A queen.
I am a friend. I am
one of more than a million people living with HIV in the U.S.
We are not alone. Let's stop HIV together.
Get the facts. Get tested. Get involved.
Wake up with KIRO 7 Eyewitness News. It's more than news. It's information to get you ready for your day. Plugging you into breaking news and overnight developments before you head out. The Emmy Award winner for Best Morning Newscast. KIRO 7 Eyewitness News. Weekdays 4:30 to 7 a.m.
The startup entrepreneurs we spoke with say it is one thing to have a great software idea, but it's another thing altogether to build a company around it. But Essex Porter shows us starting your own startup is no longer an impossible dream.
Forward.
When Dan Shapiro got his inspiration for his code-teaching game Robot Turtles, he turned to Kickstarter to raise seed money. His campaign asked donors for $25,000. That goal was met in just 5 hours, and the pledges continued to grow, allowing him to eventually bring the game to market.
I would have never believed, had you told me the success that it would have had, both in terms of the amount of support of the Kickstarter and then the ability of the game to really move on to a wider audience.
Kickstarter, angel investors, dipping into your own savings, all can help. But most startup entrepreneurs agree it takes more than money to launch a successful idea. They say getting the right people on board is key.
You go after technology enthusiasts, you go after visionaries in any new market, and you get them on your side before you try to go after the bulk of the market, because it's extremely difficult to try to sell a new idea to the majority of a market.
Ideas are relatively cheap, and execution is dear.
Longtime entrepreneur Rich Barton says the most important part of an idea's execution is finding good partners.
You have an idea, you can't do it yourself. And the success or failure of that idea is completely correlated to the quality of the people that you bring in and how well you work as a team.
When you have those pieces of the puzzle in place, he says, then it's time to talk money.
Access to capital is essential when you're starting up.
Julie Sandler is a principal at Madrona Venture Group, a Seattle venture capital firm that funds local startups. Madrona will invest only in companies it believes in and then becomes a working partner.
When we partner with these companies, we seek to help them in any way that we possibly can to help them create a successful trajectory and ultimately, hopefully, a successful outcome.
Today's startups in the Puget Sound region enjoy one major advantage over those in the past. There is no need to buy expensive computing power now, thanks to something called the cloud. Remote servers rented out to startup companies by high-tech heavyweights such as Google, Amazon, and Microsoft.
If you think about what it used to be, if you wanted to start a company, you're deploying enormous amounts of capital in order to have a server in a server room where your IT guys hang out. Now it becomes a variable cost. You think of it as consuming electricity. You pay as you go. You pay for what you use.
Startup entrepreneur Rich Barton says Seattle is at the center of cloud technology. He'd like to change its nickname from Emerald City to Cloud City.
A lot of this interesting cloud technology that's emerging is being driven out of Seattle. A lot of that started at Amazon.
And continues. Amazon just announced it's investing more than $1 billion for a new cloud computing center in Ohio.
Now a startup doesn't have to worry about buying computers and doing a data center. Literally, they just have an internet connection and they can use Amazon's servers. And companies can get huge.
Barton says it's never been easier to launch a software startup, but some things never change. A successful startup still needs a good idea, capable partners, and money. And some luck helps too.
Rich Barton and the other startup pioneers say they have never been more excited about the future of high tech in the Seattle area. But they warn there are challenges too. The startup road ahead coming up.
KIRO 7's Sam Argier, Emmy Award winner for Best Meteorologist 2 years in a row.
You try to ignore it. You try putting it off. Luckily, your local Honda Express Service Center has got you covered with friendly Honda service advisors, Honda certified technicians, and genuine Honda parts. It's all the more reason to get your Honda serviced today. Quick, easy, and affordable Honda Express service. It's just that good.
2 nights for $169.
2 nights for $169?
2 nights for $169 at Quinault Beach Resort and Casino in Ocean Shores, Washington.
That's a really good price.
Plus, you can win big cash playing in Quinault's state-of-the-art casino.
And take advantage of great spa specials, fine dining at Emily's Restaurant, and of course, we are on the beach.
All that and win big cash.
And I stay for 2 nights for $169?
2 nights for $169. It's Quinault Beach Resort and Casino in Ocean Shores, Washington. Winners happen here.
Ask yourself what you will miss more, your children or cigarettes. For as long as I can remember, my mother smoked. She died from lung cancer when I was 16. I could not take the chance of continuing smoking and not being here for my daughter. I know how much I needed my mom still, and I didn't realize it until I had lost her.
You can quit. For free help, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
I thought Red Cross does Katrina. They don't help single moms.
Hi.
What happened to our house last year about your birthday?
It flooded and the water flooded out. Yeah.
The Red Cross arranged the hotel for us. They gave me that break, that leverage to be able to get it together and take care of them, you know? I feel like we've come full circle.
Like that. This is how I'll do it.
There you go.
We've now seen plenty of examples of successful Puget Sound startups, but that doesn't mean the tech industry doesn't face major challenges, from personal privacy risks to serious problems with our education system. Data breaches at the Home Depot have threatened the credit of more than 50 million customers, and that follows similar criminal grabs for personal data at Target and TJ Maxx. Ed Lazowska says that is why it is so important to put data security at the forefront of the industry.
It's a little creepy that all that data is out there. So in my view, what we need is strong regulations on how data can be used and enforcement of those regulations. You have to accept the fact that the data is going to be collected because it's a digital world.
Clearly, there's no going back. In fact, if anything's holding the industry back, it is a chronic and severe shortage of computer engineers and programmers.
Companies like Zillow and Expedia have lots and lots of open jobs, and a lot of them are engineering jobs, and those jobs are hard to fill.
Industry analysts say there are openings for more than 3,000 well-paying jobs in the Puget Sound area, and tech companies are competing fiercely for the right people to fill those jobs. Many argue the problem has its roots in our education system.
In 9 out of 10 schools in this country, there is no computer science course available.
9 out of 10. And yet this is what's driving the economy, and this is where the good jobs are. It's just like head-slappingly obvious that we need to have computer science pushed into public education.
Higher education, too, the UW's Ed Lazowska argues, where severe budget cuts from the state legislature affect every department, including his.
We have to turn away more than half the students who want to major in computer science or computer engineering because we don't have the slots.
Ina, which card do you think is going to get you to the jewel?
Dan Shapiro says that lack of public support helped motivate him to develop the code teaching game Robot Turtles for his own kids.
If I was going to go send my kids to live in France, I'd want them to know French. I am sending them into a land populated by computers because that's where they're headed. And I want them to be digital natives. I want them to speak the language of computers.
Despite the challenges and risks, local startup entrepreneurs are extremely bullish about the future, whether it's developing software to protect our homes or to protect our health.
It's incredibly exciting. We're going to have smart homes, smart bodies, smart cars, smart robots.
It will absolutely change our lives for the better in not just making us more efficient and making us smarter, but it will save our lives too.
All in the hands of the next generation of startup entrepreneurs.
These people feel like they're changing the world.
We have an incredible future ahead of us.
I am very optimistic and very glad to be a part of this movement.
A movement that, for many entrepreneurs, begins in places like Startup Hall, where ideas incubate, grow, and with skill and some luck, succeed and continue to make the Puget Sound area one of the leading centers of innovation in the United States. I'm Monique Minglavin. Thanks for watching.